From Significant, this is Crack It in an Hour.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Crack It in an Hour. I'm Simon.
I'm Jesse.
I'm Roman.
And for those of you who listen and know, you know it is one problem, 1 hour to crack it once a week. This week, however, only one of us, well, this time, not however, every time one of us knows the problem and two of us have no idea what it is. The problem, I think this time, look at that, is Roman. Did you bring the problem?
I did. You're happy I answered yes, right? Because otherwise, I don't know what we would have done.
It would be a really awkward hour.
I would have made one up.
I'm gonna start the
Pure
clock
lies.
and I'm gonna get us going on
Start
the
the
problem.
clock. Here we go.
On the problem that I've had on my list, and I don't know why really, but I think it might be interesting. So let's just go. I think when we were like young peeps, I think you'd see.
I'm still young.
Yeah, like younger peeps.
Me too.
One day you were younger, right? Yesterday. That like we were, I think I was at least in my part of the world, like seeing like the adults were like always kind of dressed up. It's like they'd go to the office, they're dressed up, and then you'd see a gradual evolution, right? So I want us to try and get people to dress up a little more.
Okay.
Yeah. And
All right.
And
I
it's
hate
interesting.
this problem.
It's interesting because I've actually never. I'm not a suit guy. I'm not like the dressed up guy. I wear a collared shirt today. It's completely coincidental, actually. But it's really interesting. I think not the data won't really be surprising because we've all witnessed it in the last 20 years. But some of it's a little shocking. So like there's a 80% decline in formal workplace dress codes. I think it was saying since the pandemic. I question that. I think it's probably started earlier. Only 4.3% of employers still enforce strict requirement. That's from a study that was done by
That makes sense.
company
Like
called
I imagine
Brightline.
like law firms and there's certain places where you still got to wear formal, certain level of formality.
But it's only 4%, right?
That's crazy.
The global athleisure market is north of 420 billion in 2025, projected to reach over 900 billion by 2034, with a CAGR of 9.2%. That's from Fortune Business Insight. For context, the 941 billion is bigger than the GDP of the Netherlands. So it looks like comfort one. And
really
if you
does.
compare it, it was tough to find data around like the formal wear market because it's a little hard to define. But if you expanded, like all of the data I could find was really about like tuxedo rental. I'm like, no, that's not what we're talking about. There was one piece of data that said that it's the global formal wears are really, I think, what we're trying to talk about now is around the 4 billion mark. So
That's it?
athleisure is 100 times bigger. 100 times, right?
4 billion?
I have a couple of things that I'll drop a little later, more around like not behavioral therapy, but behavioral psychology, but more just some things that can impact perception. And then there's some impact that like about dressing down. That's what I found like so interesting. Like dressing down creates a cognitive cost. So there was a research done by a dude called Charles Tyrwhitt from Brightline again. And he found that introducing subtle uncertainty, dressing down introduced subtle uncertainty, about how we're perceived. So it drains kind of like your brain power. It reduces your productivity just because of perception, which I find absolutely fascinating. It means that when you dress down, you're
dumber?
You are less confident and less productive.
Oh, okay.
And 40% of Americans wear pajamas or loungewear during activities like driving and shopping. And 1/3 of remote workers wear pajamas during the workday. 1 in 12 do it every single day. right? So
Wow.
it's like, yeah. So that's the extreme
pajamas all
end, but it
day.
speaks to
There's
like post-COVID behavior kind of.
Yeah, I think there's probably a good stat around airplane travel too, like how it used to be super formal. And I've seen so many hot takes about how sweatpants should be banned on flights shorter than whatever. Like people just don't want to see people. It's so crazy. I see like grown adults in full blown pajamas with like their pillow that they brought from home. Like on, I'm like, what are you, we're flying like 4 hours. Like, what are you doing? But
Like
Yeah,
you're
I
out in
agree.
public. You realize you're in public, right? Like
also,
I mean-
but like, I also like just to, this is completely unrelated, but we have not talked about this because, and I can't remember if Biz and I shared this. It might have, I think it was, but basically a bunch of, a bunch of adults are also like now sucking on pacifiers to
What?
like,
come on.
yeah,
Come on.
losers.
Remember
where did
the
you see this?
fedora?
It's I don't want to I'd have to pull it up and I don't want to pick up my phone, but I'd have to remember where it was. But it was to like comfort them. It's the whole thing is, I mean, I know some people are doing it to like try to quit smoking. I think it's wild. But anyway,
Chew gum. Just chew gum.
just chew gum.
Just true.
Do you guys remember when fedoras
Just
made a
smoke
comeback for a
cigarettes.
little while?
Yes.
That's formal wear, right? A fedora?
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
So formal
That's it.
headwear.
Wait, when was it? When was the last time you dressed up, Simon?
Last time I dressed up like suit?
Yeah. Let's say suit.
Honestly, I probably haven't. Oh, this weekend, I had a suit jacket and a shirt and like khakis, but just with tennis shoes. I don't know if that counts.
Right. You went to Little League Baseball and that's how you
No,
were-
I went to a like a party downtown and I wanted to flash it up.
Oh,
I was basically going for
downtown.
like Miami Vice kind of, you know what I mean? Don Johnson, Miami Vice, like the t-shirt tucked into the slacks, but with like I had an oversized sports coat.
Oh, but it was a costume. It was a themed party.
No, it was
Okay,
clothes
okay.
I was wearing to go out. But thank you for the subtle. What the fuck were you wearing?
I was with
little
you,
dig there.
Simon. You were using Miami Vice as inspiration
Exactly.
for your outfit.
I got a
I'm
lot
with
of
you.
compliments. People thought I looked great. It was
I bet
fantastic.
you
Was that
looked
like
cool as shit.
is that like a punk bar too? So like it stood out. It was great.
That's awesome.
And you, Jesse?
The last time I dressed up,
Never?
never. Like
No, come on.
I try to avoid it at all costs.
Okay, why?
For me, I mean, what you said about lack of confidence, like it's the opposite for me. The minute that I am in anything that feels formal, I think like, I mean, I'll just use work as the example, right? Like showing up in a meeting, like I think one of my superpowers is the ability to be confident but casual in the way that I deliver information. And if I'm suddenly like
Cash fit in.
cash fit in. And I can't like it's when I discovered, I mean, you guys know like my not a philosophy, but my like routine is whenever we have like a big picture meeting, I wear a jumpsuit. That when I discovered jumpsuits, I was like, this is the best thing ever because I look like I've got my shit together, but I'm basically wearing like a onesie. But you know, it doesn't have footies on it, so it's not pajamas. And it's like if people buy it, you could wear a cool pair of sneakers and suddenly you're like doing a cool thing. But I feel like living my best mechanic life. Like I could like do cartwheels afterwards. I can do whatever
Yeah.
I want. And I'm not in some weird version of myself that feels like I'm playing dress up. I hate dressing up.
And you, Simon? What's your
Oh,
relationship?
I like it. I actually like dressing up. I do. Despite the fact that I don't do it a lot, I actually do like dressing up. I think the thing that but I didn't for a long time. You know what I mean? Like it's not it's like something a little more recent in my life rather than something that like I'm like, oh, I've always loved it. Like I don't think I understood as you get older and your body starts to melt, the importance of wearing clothes that make you look better is actually like kind of helpful. And I find with formal clothes, if they are cut right and stuff like that, they do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it is like I want to be clear. I'm not saying like, oh, why isn't everyone doing this? Like, I understand why it's not for everyone, and I don't do it very often, to be honest, either.
Can I ask to clarify the what you want to solve? Is it do we want to focus on like getting people to dress up again for work? Is it to just stop wearing inside wear in public? Like, is it
It's broad. It's broad by design. It's like, how do we get people to dress up a little more so that
Like, do you mean like,
so they can
like
choose
even
their
like what
own-
you're wearing today with like a collared shirt?
No. I mean more like
Okay.
put a suit on. Yeah.
Yeah.
For a dude. Yeah.
suit on?
Yeah.
I would wear a suit.
Because I found the data really interesting. It's
Yeah.
like there is like impact on productivity. There's an
What would you guys do if I
impact
started
on-
wearing suits to work? What would you guys do?
I would tease you relentlessly.
I think if you showed up unannounced,
I think you would, to be
like,
totally honest.
we would
but-
tease you. But I think if it became a thing, then I think I'd be really into it, and I'd probably follow the
Oh
trend.
man, you're kind of
Like-
tempting me with going like a serious suit phase. I think that could be kind of cool.
I think, or we should do just the opposite of casual Friday, where we show up every Monday.
Formal
with, like,
Friday.
like formal Monday, when you like get things like really fucking dialed up,
Yeah.
like, and you
I quit.
Monday 3-piece suit for like getting the week going and putting a bit of pressure.
Okay. I would like to say though, I mean, obviously there are a lot of like women can rock suits like
course.
incredibly and it
Fuck
can
yeah.
look amazing. But historically, I think more formal wear for women I'll speak for myself that I think it feels far less comfortable, far more limiting.
Totally.
Like if I was wearing like a awesome tailored suit with like I mean, I was going to say a pair of heels. I've never worn a pair of heels in my life, but whatever, a cool pair of boots or something. I feel way better than trying to find some like skirt jacket. Like to me, that's like, it takes me back 50 years versus making me feel confident
Yeah.
and powerful now. And so I also
Yeah.
wonder if there's just some differences in sort of some of the formal wear that's historically existed for different genders. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's completely fluid and you can wear whatever you want, and they're like amazing suits for women. But I'm just thinking like, when I think some traditionally, historically, and some of the reasons I haven't loved formal wear in the past.
I think
Yeah.
part of it is like what's interesting is like if you want to look good in formal wear, you kind of have to think about clothes. And I don't know how much most people like thinking about clothes because like
That's interesting.
a bad suit looks worse than a bad pair of jeans. Do you know what I mean? Like you could
Yeah.
pick a pair of jeans
Yeah.
off the rack, Kirkland jeans, put them on, put a white t-shirt on, put on some Chucks, and you'll be fine. But like
Yeah.
if you're wearing a bad suit, people are like, ooh, that looks dumb.
That's true. Okay, and this is probably another reason I don't like formal wear because I like to buy cheap clothes. It's definitely a character flaw, but I definitely don't like to spend
Yeah.
money. So
I
you can't.
I think you can find a decent suit that looks okay, that doesn't make people think, oh, that suit fucking sucks. At like,
But you need to think about it.
at a place that's not going to cost you like tailor-made suit. I think that
Yeah.
exists.
But
Like-
you need to think about, you might need to get tailored just a little bit. You know
Yeah,
what I
just
mean?
a little bit. But even like, there's a
Yeah.
big gap between what you talked about, Simon, which was like a bad suit looks horrible, which I agree, and like going to the tailors and spending thousands of dollars on a suit, right? I think
Yeah.
think
I agree. I think
Yeah.
I'm speaking for men specifically.
Yeah.
But like the other thing too is that like I think a lot of times a man's introduction to formal wear is so fucked up too. Where like, for example, like the first suit I ever wore was to a formal dance and it was my dad's. So like right away, I'm like, well, this looks stupid. And I don't want to be wearing this. This looks dumb on me. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's your first introduction. Like you never have like onboarding, a correct onboarding, if you will, to formal clothes. Whereas like if it was a little bit easier earlier on to understand the value and how you can look good in it, maybe that would change something, but maybe not. I don't know. I'm just trying to think of possible like
How-
entry points to solutions.
You want to know a piece of just a little fact that literally blew my mind and may convince you that it's a good idea for people to dress up as a company owner, Jesse, is like Northwestern University you
Woo.
may or may not be familiar with.
Terrible school, but go on.
Exactly.
Hey, you watch it.
They did a study in 2012, but it's on the human brain, so it still applies. Enclothed cognition. It says that people wearing a lab coat labeled doctor performed significantly better on attention tasks than those wearing the same coat labeled painter.
That's interesting.
So literally what you
That's
wear,
very interesting.
literally what you wear changes how your
Clothes
brain
make you.
functions.
Yeah,
Isn't that insane?
that's crazy. That's crazy.
And that study was like clothing cognition. That was what they were talking about.
Enclothed cognition is what they call it. Yeah.
I'm going to read that study because I have a lot of questions. Because is that really about the clothes so much as the label? If I'm wearing something that says doctor on it,
It's
like, I don't know that.
it's the same thing. To me, it's the same thing in this instance. It's like if you I think if you wear I think it's sure you can look into the research and spend your weekend reading it. But if that's the outcome of it, it just says that if I wear a suit to work, I'm going to pay more attention to what I do and I'm going to do it better than if I come in a pair in my tennis outfit.
The more I think about that, the more I'm not surprised by that. And the reason is like, I think that's actually, frankly, what luxury brands prey on as well. Not prey, but that's what luxury brands sell.
Yeah.
Luxury brands sell you that, like, guess what? No one else might know you're wearing a Gucci whatever, but you will. And that's going to change how you act in these situations. And I believe that to be true. You know what I mean? I do believe that to be true. So I understand how if you see doctor, it's not a luxury thing, but it's okay, I'm a doctor now. You know what I mean? Sort of thing that plays off in your brain and something you want to live up to it.
Okay. So dress up, get rich. I get it. I get the strategy.
Dress up,
Done.
get rich.
Done.
Yeah.
It's
Dress
just
up,
sold.
get rich.
I'm still not doing it, but I'm
Well,
aligned
what
to the
would make
motivation.
you what would make you do it a little more often?
Well, I was thinking about the barrier to it, right? And other, we could talk about comfort, which I think is easily solved. I think more and more brands are solving that. I think one of the most interesting barriers in my mind is, and I've always loved articles that talk about how there is a difference between money and style. And I've always
big time.
loved that notion. And I think style is really hard. It's really hard. And I think that I have figured out to a degree a style that works for me, but I wouldn't say that I've got great style. It's not, it doesn't come naturally to me. It's not like, and if you don't have the vision, if you don't have that talent, and I think it's a talent, you're sort of overwhelmed by the idea of like I could go buy a skirt or a dress and it's not going to look bad. Like, I know what looks good on my body. I can find things I generally like, but I think the gap in confidence comes when you're like, this is fucking cool. And I know it's cool.
Totally agree.
And that's style. And I don't think most people, I think that's a unique talent. And I don't know if not everybody, I think stylists is something, personal stylist is not something that's been fully democratized yet. I think there are like clothing rental companies, obviously, that are trying to help democratize the idea of being able to wear some like higher end cool things without having to own them. But you're still picking it out. I mean, a lot of them have algorithms baked into it that are sort of trying to understand your style. But like, what I would really love to do once in my life is spend a whole day with a personal stylist and be like, here's my credit card. Let's redo my wardrobe and help me discover my style. And I think that is a gap that would change everything for me in terms of, and many people, I think.
Christy, it's funny you say this because this is exactly what you're talking about. Christy was telling me that a friend of hers at our kids go to the same school, or a friend of hers there, she saw it. She was like, she's suddenly dressing like way better. She just looks fantastic. Everything she's wearing, she's just like owning it. It looks good. And she was like, when did you get all these new clothes? And she's like, I got someone to show up, go through my closet and put things together into outfits. She's like, I didn't actually buy anything. She's like, they just figured out like this goes with this with these shoes. Wear it
That's
like
so
this.
cool.
This goes with this with this. And Christy was like, it's like night and day. Cause that's styling, right? That is literally knowing like this shirt, this skirt,
Yeah.
it's gonna look awesome sort of thing. And I was like, oh, that's genius. You know what I mean?
That's really
Like there's a company that I want to buy clothes from so bad. It's probably been about 18 months or longer that I've had the tab open. And I'm like, I think in my mind it's the style I want, and I don't have the guts to do it because I don't know if I can pull it off. But if in my mind I'm ready to wipe out my entire wardrobe and like redo in this direction, and I would call it like higher end with a Jessie flair. Like we're talking like highly
like it.
tailored.
You should.
Pants,
This
but they
sounds.
have-
I'm very
they have,
curious
like,
now.
I think I showed it once to you, Roman. We were going to get coffee somewhere, and they were like tailored pants, but they had mallard ducks on them, like down the side.
Oh, yeah.
They had
Right.
just
Yeah,
like
yeah,
little,
yeah.
and I
Duck,
haven't
yeah.
bought them yet. That was like at least 8 months ago. I told you in biz, I was like, I'm gonna buy these, and I don't have the guts to do it. And I think that's the other thing that's interesting is sometimes
Confidence.
Well, sometimes formal clothing, I think, eliminates personality. And it's the thing I admire when I see somebody who's found a way to do both. It's the thing I admire most. Like when,
Yeah.
like I feel like, I like pink and I like sparkly things and I like quirky things and I like pattern, and it's like so far in my experience, and again, this is just my own limitation in what I understand about clothing. It's like I lose all of that when I try to buy like a professional outfit. And I'm like, no, I want the beautiful tailored
Right.
pants with the ducks on the side because now it has a little Jessie flair and I like that. But I think that's hard for people to figure out, or it's hard for me at least.
It is. I think what you're talking about is exactly like one of the key barriers to entry, which is like confidence in yourself to pull it off. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I think like to your point, like if you are buying formal wear, you could probably buy it cheaper, but you need to know what you're looking for. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Especially if it's cheaper. It's anyone can walk into an expensive tailor and ask them to tailor it specifically for them.
And
But
low hanging fruit, change the name from formal wear to something else. It's
to
like,
what would you name it?
Well, because formal implies like it implies the old
Yeah.
school idea of like rigidity and like I wouldn't say just because I'm dressed up, that doesn't mean I have to be formal. Like, do
Yeah.
you know what I mean? In terms
Yeah.
of the way I act or present myself. And so it's like, I don't know, what would you call it? Like there's I don't know. Cause it's not the difference between comfort and cool. Like, cause it can be comfortable. I don't know. But I hear
I wanna start
formal
wearing-
wear and I'm
yeah.
like, cut me out. I don't want it.
Yeah.
could be a
Yeah. That's a
name
good
for it.
point. That's a good point.
Like,
Like, yeah, it's interesting. Even when you go to an event and it says black tie, you're like, yeah, everybody's going to be dressed
Well,
the same.
If you
Yeah.
went to a restaurant and it was like, sorry, formal attire required, would that stop you from going to the restaurant?
probably.
Today, yes, probably because of what just said. Because formal comes with a baggage that doesn't communicate creativity and confidence, I think.
Mm-hmm. So you think it's got to get rebranded?
Yeah, that's what Jesse said. I think so.
Yeah.
think
I mean,
that-
it's interesting that you bring up that example though, because I mean, I do think we have to stop calling it formal wear. I think it does need a new name because yeah, exactly. Formal implies like a certain experience. But when there, for those who don't know, there's a place in LA called the Magic Castle, which is literally an invite only castle for magicians and people who get invited by a magician go to this like you literally enter the castle at 5 p.m., you leave at midnight, you just see a bunch of magic, you drink a shit ton of martinis, or at least that's what I
It's
do.
great.
And you have to dress up. It is formal attire. And in that context, that's one of the maybe that's the last time I dressed up, was the last time I went to the Magic Castle. And I find that kind of fun. I still struggle to figure out what I'm gonna wear, but it's interesting. It's like I know the experience itself is gonna be cool. Maybe it feels like a costume, and that's why I like it more so than like showing up to work that way.
It's
But I don't
interesting.
know.
The showing up to work thing, I've been thinking about it like since like in the last 10 minutes, and I'm like, I think one of the things that probably would be a barrier to me is being the only one. I
I agree.
Such a good
I think
point.
I think if
Such
I
a good
showed
point.
up and I have a client meeting and everybody's dressed just like casual, like we do in most of our meetings, because that's what happens in business in our industry, and I'm the only one wearing a suit, I think I'd feel weird because
And you feel like a dork.
it would kind of feel like the guy. No, you don't feel like a dork if you feel good in your clothes, but it would feel like a guy that wants to be noticed, as opposed to, do you see what I mean? It's
Like
like
you're trying too hard.
Try hard.
it's kind of like, hey, look at me, yeah, and you're like, no, not really. So I think that to me personally would be a big barrier. Is like,
That's
sure, I
really
go to a wedding, I
interesting.
wear a suit, cool. Like 99% of the dudes are gonna wear a suit, but if I go to a meeting, like we do every day, and I'm the only one, I think I'd feel awkward.
Yeah, 100%. Also, like I think about, I mean, to your point, Simon, of the Christie example, there's this barrier that I feel like is also exists where you know that the moment you do something different, someone's gonna say something about it. And like,
Yeah.
absolutely, do I love if somebody compliments, like, oh my God, that's such a cool jacket, or I love your shoes, sure. But that's different than like the people being like, whoa, where's this coming from? And then you're like,
Fancy.
just wanted to
Yeah.
try something. Like, don't look
Yeah.
at me. And then the self, it's why it's hard. I mean, I totally buy the data, but I just feel like it comes full circle where that self-consciousness and lowered confidence is almost 2x dressing up than it is dressing down
Well,
because of all of these external factors.
yes, and there's dressing down, and there's been changes in how you show attention and respect. Meaning,
Yeah.
I think it used to be a sign of like, okay, I'm gonna put a suit on because I respect you and I'm showing up in that meeting, that stuff. But there's many, many work environments, like most of them today, probably 96 point something 7%, because only 4.3% like push for formal, that if you wear a jacket with a cool, really well cut t-shirt and a pair of jeans that are really, really tight and nice boots on as a dude, you're not going to be perceived as a guy who's wearing like, baggy pants and sweatpants. And I love both baggy pants and sweatpants, but I wouldn't wear them to a meeting. And so I think that's changed. The perception has changed, is what I'm trying to say, is that you can't convey respect and sort of like attention
Yeah.
without going all the way to like formal. And that's probably one of the reasons also that it's changed.
I have one idea. There's something you said made me think about it, which is, and I don't know if this is an enduring behavior, but I think it might be. There's been a lot of conversation recently, I think, especially among, I would say, I think I've seen it more among women groups, but I think anyone could be into it, which is like people talking about how do you add more whimsy to your day-to-day life. And it's a lot of things like, when I sit down to have dinner, I light 2 candles, like little, just like these little things that make your life feel a
Yeah.
little bit more whimsical, a little more special. And like, I think the idea, because I want to walk away from the work conversation for a minute, because I think it could be a bit of a distraction in trying to solve this. Because I was thinking about what you said on like, okay, so like you could roll up to the grocery store wearing sweats and a dirty t-shirt, or like go do your shopping at the farmer's market wearing like a lovely whatever, or like go to the grocery store just dressed up a little bit. And maybe we're thinking like the end of the formal spectrum in the most traditional example, which is work, but there's so much in between that you started the conversation with, Roman. So I don't know, maybe the idea of like treating it like a way to make your life feel more whimsical. And it's not something you even have to wear all day, but it's like, hey, if you're going to go shopping, like dress up and go do it. I don't know if that's the best example, but yeah.
I think that's interesting. A way to make
lower hanging fruit options of dressing up. Like if you're gonna do it, just do this little fun thing. Do a little fun thing of dressing up.
Yeah. Just a little like
Yeah,
exactly. Like I don't know. I mean, who wants to dress up to go to the grocery store? I love the grocery store, but I would.
Would
not
you
wanna
ever
dress
use a
up.
cane? Would you ever? Canes are formal. Would you ever use a cane?
a cane.
Yeah, like a fancy cane. Would you ever bring that into your
Simon,
wardrobe?
I think
Are
to
you
me,
like
using
going
a
full
cane-
dandy?
I'm basically imagining the Planters peanut guy with like I was talking about hats,
Or with a
canes,
fedora?
a monocle. Get a monocle.
I think
Like
I
just
think-
really monocles. Bringing monocles back would be really cool.
and like, how do you call the watches that are not on the wrist? Like
The
ones-
pocket
yeah.
watch or whatever
Pocket
they're called.
watch.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
on a
so
chain.
you're bringing back what are we talking about here? Like 1920s
I'm bringing back like
style?
old timey formal fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like
I think wearing a cane when you don't need one is like wearing glasses when you don't need them. It's like it's a fucking flex. It's like I'm gonna wear
I
glasses.
thought you were
but I-
going the other direction.
If I started using a cane,
I mean, it's
just,
a flex
always
meaning.
walked
Yeah,
with
a
cane.
flex could mean anything, Jesse. It could mean I like it or I don't. I just think it's a move. Like
If I bought like a fancy cane and was like, "What's up, dudes?" and I'm always walking around with my cane.
I think I would make more fun of you if you do that than if you wear a suit in the office every day. Yeah,
I think the suit in the office thing I'm kind of
Okay,
tempted
yeah.
by. I don't think I could stick to it because I'd need to like start dry cleaning everything and stuff like that. But the idea of wearing like suits often, the only problem is like as the oldest member of this team, I also hesitate a little bit because you guys are like, "Oh, look who's gotten even older overnight." You know what I mean? And I know I'd get that shit handed to me on a
Says-
fucking silver platter.
That's the guy who wants to use a cane. The thing is, I would think the cane.
Touche.
I would think initially the cane was more absurd than the suit, but I actually think over time I'd become far more attached to the cane than
Well,
the
what
suit.
would be
I'd
what
be
would
like,
be amazing is when I'm through the looking glass with you, so that when the three of us show up somewhere, people are like, "Why aren't they noticing he's got a cane and a suit on all the time?" And you two are just don't even see it anymore. Like that's the best moment is when you like
we're like,
go into
oh.
external situations where people are like, "That's crazy," but everyone's acting like it's not crazy. So I guess I won't act like it's crazy.
That's so good. We're like, oh, Cane Simon? Oh, that's just
Yeah. No, he's been
just-
doing that for
no,
months.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's good. He's good.
Yeah. He's got his initials
Simon.
inscribed in it.
I think that you should bring a cane to Cannes.
Oh, and start walking around with a cane?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
That would be an interesting thought.
And then
I like that.
and
You
then
know
you should
how-
only pronounce can as cane and make it a whole
Cane.
thing that you like thought it was you was like, I thought
Like-
this was what this was about.
Like no,
Because
I
you know-
brought my
Festival.
cane. I'm not going to cane.
Jesse, to your point, you know how you say a
First,
cane in French?
Go on.
Can.
Ken.
There you go.
They're
It's all
Yeah,
lining
it's
up,
French.
I
guys.
told you,
I'm entering my
homonyms
cane
have the
phase.
same- like basically they have the same sound but a different spelling. How do you call it
Phonetics?
in English? Anyway,
Phonetics, syllables,
Homophones.
I don't know.
homophone, I
Homophone.
think. Yeah, it's a homophone. Can. So you can wear a can
Okay.
and can, and you'll be great.
Let's
That's
talk about some
cool.
actual solutions to get people
Okay,
to wear
I have
more
an
formal
idea.
clothes.
I have
Okay.
an idea that's maybe not good and maybe it is, but if it's proven that dressing up is going to increase your performance, the same way it's proven that getting your heart to work or getting your muscle to build improves your health, should dressing up be reframed as self-care? It's a wellness play.
I think
don't
I'm
know.
so I think
You're over wellness. I
no.
knew you're over wellness. You just want to drink
I,
martinis and eat fries and like tell the world to fuck off, the world to fuck off.
guys,
But
I'm done. I'm done working out. I'm done with it all. I've had enough.
I think that if you want to get people to dress up, it's got to be easier to not feel stupid dressing up, especially when you're starting to dress up. Because I think like what you talked about, Jesse, is a version of what I talked about, is a version of what I felt when I was younger, when I first dressed up, which is like, it's so unnatural to do it the first time. And because there's no requirement of doing it anymore, I think people are just afraid of doing it altogether.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that I mean, I think the social, okay. Something I find very interesting is how much our society loves to talk about individuality, yet one of our like innate sort of psychological, sociological behaviors is conformity. Like
Yeah.
nobody wants to be you said it earlier, Roman, like no one wants to be like, hey, I'm going to the movies with my friends and they're all wearing sweatpants and I rocked up in like a, crop top and a skirt and a pair of heels. And people are like, who's the odd one out? Like there's a really interesting tension to me in this culture of how much people claim they want to stand out and how important individuality is and self-expression, except actually self-expression is often only performed in groups who are
Right.
all self-expressing in the exact same way. And
Yeah,
so
it's tribal.
I think
Yeah.
totally. And so it's I mean, I'm just putting a psychological point on something you've already said, but it dawned on me just like you're just not, I don't think they're that. It's why I admire when I see someone, I'm like, damn, that is some awesome style, because it does take a level of confidence and an ability to be different to go there.
So how do you eliminate that insecurity? Like, cause like you're bringing up an interesting thing, which is like bad first thought or horrible thought is like, let's create a suit store where you can only buy suits in groups of 5 or more.
Yeah.
So that you always have to make sure that it's like, oh, and then we'll give discounts to office places so that everyone in the
that's cool.
office is wearing a suit together. Because what you're talking about is you're like, suits right now are so standout. I'm saying suits, but bear with me. I apologize. But, formal wear stands out so much right now that people are almost afraid to do it on their own.
Yeah. I'll give you another really stupid idea that's really horrible, which is, how many people actually talk about how they would actually love a uniform to wear every day to work, because people like the cognitive load of like picking out what to wear. But anything that is uniform based has historically been casual. And so what if there were creative companies started doing more like work uniforms, but like I think about how there was a period of time in advertising where every creative director wore all black all the time.
No idea what you're talking about.
And that was a thing. But like, imagine if it was an all black suit, that became the thing. And then there was something for women. I mean, you'd want a couple variations, but it's a terrible idea. But I like the notion of like a uniform.
I think you have to crack what you said earlier first, which is the rebranding of it. Because if it's not attached to creativity, then that's not going to work. Because it's the reason advertising was the first industry to do it. It was like, it was self-expression, it was creativity, it was like
it was
it was
a rebellion.
It was a rebellion, all of this. So it would need to be rebranded first so that it can be part of something that you opt in. Because I think imposing it is going to go back to where it was, and it's going to be formal and not, and we're going to go full circle.
I'll give you a cheap way to do it. Everyone, maybe this doesn't work because you still almost have to take one step even further back to do the rebrand. But I was thinking about what is an excellent way to manipulate people into thinking this is what they want, which is like how many people love to consider themselves like thought leaders today? And if you reframe formality as like expertise and thought leadership, and you make it sort of the realm of like that person, it wouldn't be great. There would still be a whole creative
Well,
class that I think would rebel against
interesting.
that. But it's still one way to sort of, I think you almost have to attach it to a new type of person. And
do
I
you
don't know
think
that that will ever be the creative. I don't know. Yeah, go ahead, Simon.
do you think you're bringing up a good point, and I want to keep playing in that world, which is, do you think formal wear has become unattached to status? Because
Yeah, I
like
mean,
that's
think of
essentially where it started, right? Like it
a
was,
little bit like quiet luxury sort of, and it's these things start to blend because formal doesn't have to be luxury doesn't necessarily mean
right. I
formal,
agree.
but like, but to your point of like the most high end brands actually don't have labels on them. Quiet luxury was just like jeans and a t-shirt, but it was like an $800 t-shirt. And like I think we have to separate cost and luxury from formal and
I
talk
agree.
about formal as just a specific style or like level.
Yeah, but I don't think that's not how I interpreted Simon's question. You talked about status, which
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, I kind of came full circle.
which is a touch different. I still think it's a bit of a status play. I think. I think when you see someone like show up with a suit and no one else is, I think it's a, hey, it's like
I'm important.
I'm trying to send that message.
Yeah.
Um,
See, I don't know.
it's a good
That's what I
question.
was trying to think about. Yeah, because like I wonder how much the ill-fitting suit killed the suit as status symbol thing. And that's like, I don't have an answer for it right now. I'm just curious if like, if you see someone in a suit, do you still think, oh wow, that person is in some way, shape, like we're walking down the street of a default city in America and you see someone in a suit, do you think right away, oh, that person is of higher status? Or do you
I think anchor.
that person
No,
has
that
an accountant
no,
job?
I think you're right. I think it's the level of precision and style is going to be associated to status
Yeah.
versus just a suit.
I
think
agree.
you're right.
Yeah.
I feel that's where you were going, and yeah, that's like someone who's like really, really buttoned up and not wearing a suit is gonna feel like they're sending more of a status
Yeah.
signal than someone who's wearing like you said, an ill-fitted suit. Yeah, I think that's fair. Where did you want to go with that?
Well, because I guess, I mean, like, obviously, like, was status not the biggest driver of luxury of formal wear? Like, was that not the reason you wore it, was because you wanted to convey status to people? And then if so, to Jesse's point, what do you either replace it with or how do you reclaim that?
Yeah, like I think about who was in my mind one of the greatest inspirations or aspirations of that was James Bond.
Right.
Like, no one looks cooler in a suit than James Bond. He's attractive, he's cool, he's
Yeah.
like, he's a badass. Like there was
Yeah.
and he's always in a suit. And it's like, let's just assume going forward that we're talking about things that are well tailored and fit well. And I like that idea of like, you either need to attach it to a certain group of people, like next gen thought leaders or something, or
Right.
you need to reclaim like a certain like type of lifestyle around it. I think it's just like anything that we do strategically, almost like owning a mindset or a specific lifestyle and attaching it to the idea of formal wear. I think formal has for too long been attached to a specific occasion.
I
And what
agree.
no one has
I
ever
agree.
done is attach formal to mindset, lifestyle, aspiration.
Yeah.
And I think that's a bit
Yes.
of the unlock of the in my head as we're talking about this.
How many
Yeah,
times have we seen a few people we know who have we know have very high paying jobs walk in with really well dressed but casual and then a fuck you watch on their wrist,
Yeah.
right? Like that now says something I think that formal wear used to, in a
Yeah.
way. You know what I
Totally.
mean?
There's something to that point that I've always loved about America is back to the very first thing you said, I think on the first thing I think you said was around plane attire. Is that if you're in the US and you walk down the aisle of a business class on a plane, like literally you could have someone that's wearing like sweatpants with holes and hasn't, washed their hair in like 8 days, and they make $1 billion. And if you walk down the aisles of a business class, I would say in Asia, everyone's wearing a suit.
Right.
And there is a bit of like a fuck you-ness, leave me alone, not my status, not associated to what I wear, creativity. You can associate it to many, many different things. That is really good about certain cultures, the UK, the US. That's the upside, one of the many upsides of the dressing down culture. It's just the freedom part, right? That it's less classist. It's like all of this. So it's like, how do you fight the classicism, if that's a word? If you get
I think that's why, like, let's use the thought leadership piece, because I think there are thought leaders who make $1 billion, and there are emerging thought leaders who maybe could one day. And there are thought leaders in niche circles that are really, I'm not saying the thought leadership angle is the right one, but I think if you take that approach of, it's so funny, like in hindsight, it's so often how we approach things. It's like formal wear has been attached to occasions, which is historically attached to like a demographic based segmentation. And if you detach formality from occasion based and move it into mindset or specific lifestyle, you can cross psychographic, demographic, class. I mean, they might still skew a little bit in one way or the other, but it's interesting to me to think about that. And it gives you a way to rebrand what formal means. I still think you need a new word for it. Maybe it doesn't matter, but that would, if suddenly like the aspiration looked a little different, like I think it might start to, you still need the confidence piece. I think we need to like find a way to democratize stylists a bit. Like, I mean, I don't know.
But like what you're talking about there is like, it's like almost like you attach it to smart, or you attach it to insightful, or you attach it to interesting. You know what I mean? And then suddenly it's like, and then that becomes like, if we run whatever suit company for however long we run it, it's like, no, this is what we're always going to do. You know what I mean?
Suitsforsmartpeople.com.
I mean, Timex did a version back in the day when they wanted to attach themselves to race car drivers, astronauts, all sorts of things that were suddenly not just like, this is people who make money. This is people who are doing interesting things. And that was cool. Sort of like, that was like how they really broke through in the luxury category. It was suddenly seen as, oh, this isn't just a watch for people who have the money to afford it, but the people who have the money to afford it doing interesting things.
Yeah,
you know
totally.
I mean?
All right.
Yeah.
I'll put a fancy dress on.
It's so much easier to talk about suits and like men's formal wear because it gets more complicated when there's lots of options for women, I think. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but women's suit, you said it's fucking awesome.
Is. Yeah.
It's not only more options, but I think it is more restrictive as somebody, actually, I think this is interesting, as somebody who literally has never worn a pair of heels in my life and will never wear a pair of heels, I actually find shoes to be the most complicated part of dressing up. I have no fucking idea what to do. And I'm like, the only thing I want to wear is sneakers. And I know that like sneakers can look really cool with a suit for sure. But the number of times I've put a dress on that I bought and I was like, I'm going to like have this in my closet. I'm going to wear it sometimes. And I put it on and then I'm like, well, I have no idea what to do from the ankle down. And I take it off and I switch to jeans. It's like, it's a whole other element that doesn't happen when your option is a suit. Like, and I think maybe that's why sneaks were invented, I guess, so that I could wear heels that felt like sneakers.
There you go.
Yeah. I don't know that I'm cool enough to pull those off either, but maybe.
Yeah.
Shoes,
So
shoes actually are the worst part.
how do you get this ball rolling? What's your go-to-market for something like this?
Well,
It's
first of
hard
all, I
to
think we
say.
need to
Yeah.
rebrand, right? Because if we haven't cracked the rebranding, I think it's the place of, right.
We need to attach it to a mindset. I think we've gotten that far.
We
need
got
to
to attach it to
a different
mindset, and we got to rebrand it. And so we got to
Yeah.
crack those two things. And once we've cracked the two things, we can probably attack a bit of a go to market. But I think it's a little too.
I got it.
All right, let's go.
We're just gonna follow the thread we're on, and we're gonna call it intelligent wear. Because
Okay.
people got the hots for intelligence. That's like, I think smart isn't
Yeah.
even cool enough. It's like, this is intelligence. Like,
Yeah.
this is suits like,
Deeper.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's deeper. It's intelligent wear. It's like suits for intelligence. I think that could go somewhere. It feels like elevated. It feels it feels douchey, to be honest. But I think
Yes.
people would go for it in a way that would work.
I
So
think
which mindset are we going after with intelligent wear?
I'm going after the
aspirational.
thought leadership
Go ahead.
one.
We're going to launch it.
We're
We're going
going
to have
full,
all
you're
these
going
people.
full douche.
We're going
Yeah.
to give it to all these thought leaders to start wearing suits. We're going to sponsor thought leaders, and we're going to say, look like these thought leaders will be awesome and smart.
Okay, you know how like the North Face vest became the Silicon Valley
Patagonia vest, yeah.
yeah. I think we start in Silicon Valley. We like make Silicon Valley suits again. I don't know if it ever was. I've never lived there. What did you tell me?
No,
if
they were like the ultimate, like, we wear flip-flops and play ping pong
Yeah.
all day. Like,
No, I think Silicon Valley is too. It's still a little detached.
the location's interesting though. Like, where do you start it geographically?
It
Does
is
it
a
come
very
from
good question. Do you start it from a fashion capital like Paris, New York, Tokyo, whatever? Do you start it from a place
I
that
think if you
most like LA, San Francisco? Do you start it from just a hub?
I mean, I actually think it's a mistake
Orlando.
to start it from a fashion cap. Jesus Christ. All right, I'm in.
Take that for free, Orlando.
Lord.
I don't think I think you're already getting it. I think you're already getting those places for free to some degree. Like, I don't know. Like, I think in New York, if you work on Wall Street or you are of a certain level, like, you're already probably wearing a suit. But I think what we're talking about is we're trying to get people to signal in a different way, right? And you got to kind of come somewhere else, I think. I don't know.
Well,
I could
yeah,
be
I think we
wrong.
have to like erase our brains of like the people who wear suits today. Because it's like we're basically taking the idea of the suit and applying it to a completely different audience and category so that it no longer represents
Yeah.
Wall Street. And I think if it comes from a fashion capital, it immediately introduces all the existing barriers, which is like,
I don't think so.
you don't?
No, I don't think so. Because I like most of what people wear everywhere in the world starts in the fashion capital and then takes years to trickle to other places.
Sure.
Like,
Sure.
like, like whatever example, any fashion example I could bring, like even like, normcore sneakers started 15 years ago with like a movement that was normcore, and now everybody wears like what our dads wear or like 40 years
New
ago.
Balance.
And every day New Balance, right? So it's I think it's got to start there. That's where I struggle with the thought leader thing, because it's such a niche that is a love-hate niche, but you got to start with a tribe, with a bit of a creative fashion tribe somewhere in one of those cities that is really, really owning it, and that is like the kind of that has the attitude and the creativity that people want to follow. I think
there's something to that point. I think there's something you could do with reframing it as rebellion. Like, cause like, it's like, honestly, like normcore made me think of that, which is like normcore was this, like, we're all trying too hard. What if we stop trying and kind of like go to this really like, I'm going to start buying stuff. And there's something interesting in this idea of like, well, when everyone is trying to make streetwear, like everything is streetwear, everything is accessible. what if our rebellion was inaccessibility? You know what I
Yeah,
mean? There's
I
something
like that.
interesting in
I
that,
like that.
you know?
Yeah, I do.
And then
I do.
it's a
Go
little
ahead.
80s, it's a little new wave, you know what I mean? Like in sort of like how they sort of like start to kind of like David Bowie walking out wearing the
That's
suits and
exactly what I
stuff
was
like
thinking
that. You know what
about.
I mean? Like it is like that's where my head goes to with some of that stuff. You know what I mean?
That's cool.
And then you do audience crossovers with collabs. That's what you've been doing for years now, and it works so well.
Mhm.
And then that's once it's
it.
established in that core, then you're gonna do audience crossovers with like completely unexpected collab. Like you're
Yeah.
gonna do, let's say like Crocs is gonna do a collab with Intelligent Wear, and the person
Right.
rocking it in like whatever in the heart of London is gonna look fucking fantastic.
Well,
Yeah.
this is like back to I love it because that's where the whimsy and the fun
Yeah.
can come into it, and it's not formal anymore. Like I don't think anybody would call this formal wear, but literally one of my favorite jackets that I own, which was not cheap, has beaded minions on it. It's just like a green jacket that has, it's like bedazzled with minions, and you're like, well, this is weird, and it's a collab. And I'm like, but I like it because when someone stares at it for 1 second too long, they're like, are those minions? And you're like, yeah, 100% they are. And have I worn that to a job interview? Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah,
love how you
absolutely.
like to wear jackets that are gonna start conversations. I think it's
I
really
do. That's my
I
favorite
think it's
thing.
really interesting. You have a couple jackets that say "Don't be a little bitch" on the back, and it is interesting. It's such a conversation starter when you're
Yeah.
or say something.
Yeah. And I think formal wear historically has started no conversations. It's like the
Yeah.
door shut in my mind.
Yeah, exactly.
So maybe that's part of the ambition is like, what does formal wear look like when it starts conversations?
Oh, that's interesting. Now we're getting somewhere.
Design brief.
Every time in the last 10 minutes is when we get somewhere.
Well, yeah, it takes a minute. My brain's tired.
I
We
love
gotta
it.
warm up.
No, it's awesome.
That idea is interesting of starting to create formal wear that actually opens people up and kind of
Yeah.
considers the possibility of formal wear.
Yeah, because I'm way more comfortable going up to a stranger wearing a jacket that has like whatever, like peanuts all over it, or I don't know, like, and I'm be like, that's a cool jacket. I
Peanuts
love that.
characters or just like peanut shells, like they've eaten like a monster.
I think I'm hungry, and I literally was
I'm
just
hungry,
thinking
yeah.
about actual peanuts, not peanuts characters. And then it came out of my mouth, and I was like, that's weird, but.
What?
But like I would go up to that person and be like, that's such a cool jacket. I love it. I'd be so intimidated walking up to someone who was like dressed in the nines and being like, I love your outfit. Cause I'm like, I think that person lives a different life than me and probably doesn't want me to
Yeah.
talk to them. So I like if you start to frame it as a rebellion, and then fashion itself starts to orient itself around like a design brief of what does formal wear look like when it starts conversations, it gets really interesting to me.
I agree.
I think that's really cool. And it's actually weirdly, it rebels against it. Like even when we were talking about pajamas on planes and stuff, like the idea of
Yeah.
like, wearing something formal and interesting on a plane suddenly becomes like this really interesting sort of, I'm the part of this tribe sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which feels, I don't know. There's something there.
Yeah.
There's something interesting there for sure.
All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap us up because everybody's
Do
hungry
it.
and we're almost at the hour. All right, that was interesting. I thought it took us a minute to take off. You guys didn't really feel the subject at the beginning, and then you got into it. Like like we talked about the barrier to entry, bringing the confidence to pull it off. I think we started with a few tactics of like, what if we had more access to personal stylists? What if we have more like what I would call like a closet assembler, whatever your friend has, Simon, is like coming in and just assembling your clothes to give you a better style. I think early on, Jesse, you said something important is like, we got to rebrand it. Like we got to rebrand it from formal wear to something else. And we got to it a little later, but you also touched on like, what if it became a way to make your life more whimsical, which we also got to towards the end of the conversation. So we played with the thought leader idea. I personally challenged it. We agreed that we need to detach formality from occasions and attach it to mindset. So you attach it to creative, to smart, to insightful, to interesting. And then towards the end, I think we got to an interesting place. It's like, okay, what does it look like if we wanted to open people up and start conversations? What if instead of formal wear, it was called intelligent wear? What if you reframe it as rebellion? And these are the types of people you're gonna try and get to first. You start from like, I think you follow kind of the fashion playbook in a way as you try and start in a fashion capital, like in New York or Paris or Tokyo or another one, or London. And you know, as a go-to-market, we didn't go very deep, but like you at least collab the shit out of it. So, you know, I think it got really interesting. It was, I can't wait to see Simon rock a suit at least once a week in the office in LA, and a cane, and a canyon can. He's gonna do it.
Can.
So I'll wrap us up with the final question. Jesse, did we crack it?
I think we cracked the brief into the brief, and then we would go from there.
Love it. Sai?
I think it's like if we had a client meeting, I'd be like, okay, we got one direction, but I want to see two more. You know what I mean? Like, it's like,
Yeah.
it's like we got some stuff. I'm not like embarrassed walking into this meeting, but do I think we've like nailed the meeting? Like, I don't think so yet.
Yeah, I'm with you. I maybe a little deeper than the brief, but definitely not there yet. Yeah. All right, guys. I agree.
Let's go eat.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening. We're going to go eat and see you all next time on another episode of Crack It in an Hour. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Crack It in an Hour. If you like the show, please don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen. If you have questions, thoughts, or feedback, shoot us an email at hello@crackitpodcast.com or on Instagram @crackitpodcast. Music done by Michael Anastasi, cover art shot by Mick Mint, and all things audio and video taken care of by Nathan Nash. See you next time.